Hello, and welcome back to the Life and Diary of David Brainerd. This is day number 54. I hope you're doing well. Wednesday, January 26th. Preached to a pretty large assembly at Mr. Fish's meeting house. Insisted on humility and steadfastness in keeping God's commands, and that through humility we should prefer one another in love and not make our own frames the rule by which we judge others. I felt sweetly calm and full of brotherly love, and never more free from party spirit. I hope some goodwill follow, that Christians will be freed from false joy and party zeal, and censoring one another. Friday, July the 28th. Here I found some fallen into extravagances, too much carried away with false zeal and hindrances. Oh, the want of the gospel temper is greatly to be lamented. Spent the evening in conversing about some point of conduct in both ministers and private Christians, but did not agree with them. God had not taught them with briars and thorns to be of a kind disposition towards mankind. Jonathan Edwards has a note here. On Saturday he rode out to East Haddam and spent the 3 following days there. In that space of time he speaks of his feelings of weakness in the world, a sense of the nearness of eternity, and a special assistance in praying for the enlargement of Christ's kingdom times of spiritual comfort. That's by Jonathan Edwards. Wednesday, February the 2nd. Preached my farewell sermon to the last night at the house of an aged man who had been unable to attend on the public worship for some time. This morning spent time in prayer almost wherever I went. Having taken leave of friends, I set out on my journey towards the Indians, though I was to spend some time at East Hampton on Long Island by leave of the commissioner who employed me in the Indian fair, and being accompanied by a messenger from East Hampton who traveled to Lyme. On the road I felt an uncommon pressure of mind. I seemed to struggle hard for some pleasure in something here below, and I seemed to struggle for some hardship and distress and pressure undertaken. I thought it would be less difficult to lie down in the grave, but yet I chose to go down and stay. Came to Lyme that night. He waited the next 2 days. This is a note from Jonathan Edwards. He waited the next 2 days for a passage over the Sound, and spent much of the time in inward conflict and dejection, but had some comfort. On Saturday he crossed the Sound, landed at Oyster Ponds on Long Island, and traveled from thence to East Hampton. And the 7 following days he spent there, for the most part under extreme dejection and gloominess of mind, with great complaints of darkness and ignorance. Yet his heart appears to have been constantly engaged in great business of religion, and much concern for the interest of religious in East Hampton, and praying and laboring much for it. Saturday, February 12th, enjoyed a little more comfort, and was enabled to meditate with some composure of mind, especially in the evening. Found my soul more refreshed in prayer than at any time of late. My soul seemed to take hold of God's strength and was comforted with his consolation. Oh, how sweet are some glimpses of divine glory, how strengthened are the Christians. I hope you enjoyed this reading today, and I do hope you have a good weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next time.